Hello everyone, in this video I will give practical tips you can immediately use to save money, as well as a step-by-step guide on how to do so, and hopefully at the end of this video also changing the way you think about saving and spending money. I'm going to start off with a scenario. Let's say you spend €5 each day on buying a fancy spiced pumpkin latte. And if you don't like coffee, imagine something else that you buy on the regular. Now, in most Western European countries we pay quite a lot of income tax, and it is usually divided in what they call tax brackets. This is also a topic for another video, but basically it means that if you earn anything over a certain amount, it gets taxed a lot. In Belgium, for example, this means that every extra euro you earn above about 40,000 this year is taxed at about 50%. So this means that if you already earn that amount per year, that you need to earn €10 extra to buy the €5 coffee. So would you still buy it at that price? Even though in your country the tax rates might be lower, the point I'm trying to make is that in most cases it is a lot easier to save more through not spending than it is to earn more money. So we've established that getting wealthier through saving is easier than earning more money. How do you save more then? To do this, we need to take a couple steps. The first one is to track your spending. If you do not know where all your money is going, there is no way you can figure out what you can cut out of your budget. There are multiple easy ways of doing this, like different budget tracking apps or a simple Excel sheet, or if you want to go really old school, a pen, some paper and a calculator. For your convenience, I made a simple Excel sheet myself that you can find in the link below and download it for free. Secondly, as soon as you know where your money is going, divide it up into needs or essentials like housing, electricity, water, groceries, internet, etc. and wants or nice to haves like extra clothing besides the bare minimum, alcohol, electronics, games, restaurant visits, etc. Now, I'm not saying that you should cut back on your nice-to-haves entirely, but it is good to know if the amount is unusually large. If you notice you spend way too much on going out or restaurants every week, for example, then it might be a good idea to cut back a little. A good metric to see if you save enough is your savings rate. This is the amount you save each month divided by your total income and multiply this by 100. This gives you a percentage of how much of your income you are saving. Try to aim for at least 20% of your monthly income. However, the higher your income, the higher your savings rate should be as well. And I do want to stress that if you do start earning more due to a promotion or some other source of income, do not fall in the trap of spending more because you earned it. Use this extra money as additional saving money and increase your savings rate. Third, we are going to cut costs out of our budget. However, we're going to start with the low-hanging fruit first and save more without much effort. With regards to electricity and gas heating, a lot of countries in Europe work with a different tariff for electricity for what is called a day or night time. What this means is that you can save up to half of electricity expenditure for using it usually between 10 o'clock in the evening and 6 in the morning. All the big energy expenditure items in your house are the ones that produce heat. So dishwasher, washing machine and kitchen stove. While not practical to start cooking after 10 in most cases, for the dishwasher and washing machine this is really easy. Since all of those machines today have a timer that you can set so that it actually starts washing after 10 p.m. This alone can already save you a lot of money per year, but you can save even more through simply switching energy providers every year or every few years. Energy rates change over time, and while you might have picked the cheapest provider a few years ago, chances are another company today has a better offer for you. We recently did this ourselves and saved about 40% on our current electricity and gas bill this way. In most cases there are no switching costs involved in doing this, but it is best to check your contract with your provider. Next up is internet, television and mobile phone. As with energy, it is best to compare providers for your phone and internet plan every now and then. They usually offer a beneficial price if you buy a pack with television, a cell phone plan and internet combined. But if you don't really need one of those, like television for example, because you watch Netflix or YouTube instead, it might be cheaper to choose another plan or even switch providers entirely. This is completely based on your personal needs, so the only real advice I can give you is to do your own research and look for the cheapest option. And if you really do not want to switch providers, even though you found a better deal somewhere else, just call your current provider and threaten to leave because you saw a better offer. They will usually offer some form of discount, and all you need to do to get it is send an email or two or call the support line. You can also save a lot on groceries as well. One way of doing this is going to a discount retailer when you need to buy a lot of bulk supplies. Another way is to buy the off-brand products. In a lot of cases, these are made in the exact same factories as the branded ones, but will only cost half as much. With branded products, you are basically paying for the marketing. In supermarkets where they sell both, look for the products on the bottom or top shelves. The reason they are put there is because they tend to earn less profit for the supermarkets and producers than the branded products, and people tend to buy more products that are within arm's reach. In pharmacies, for example, this also works. Most medicines that are sold there have an off-brand version that is exactly the same. For example, in painkillers you have, depending on your country, brands like Dafalgan, Perfalgan, Panadol, Excedrin, etc. And these are just brands of the painkiller with the active ingredient called paracetamol. If you ask for this, they will give you an off-brand version of the product that is the exact same but will cost 50% less. Next, we can also save a ton of money on clothing, games and electronic devices without really having to sacrifice a lot simply by waiting. Clothing is seasonal, so at the end of a season there are usually large discounts because the shops want to liquidate their remaining stock. This is the exact same with electronic devices every time a new model is announced. The old one will become a lot cheaper and probably still is a great product that you can now get at a more affordable price. And this is exactly the same with a lot of products, like games for example. A new game can cost upwards of 60 euros, but after 6 months that same game usually goes on sale for half the price. If you can wait even longer than that, after a year for example, you can buy it at a third of the original price. This might be difficult for you if you actually need to have everything right away, but if you can wait a little longer, you can still buy everything you like and also save a lot. Isn't that a small sacrifice? Up next, we do need to start actively cutting spending. You can use the same Excel sheet below to track how much you could potentially save per year if you cut back on certain costs. If you like it, give me a thumbs up in return. A good way to do this is to work in reverse. Deduct your essential costs from your paycheck, decide how much of the leftover money you wish to save each month, and then leave the rest as a budget for fun money, with which you buy the things like restaurant visits or a new piece of clothing, for example. The best way to be consistent with this method is when you receive your income on your checkings account to immediately put the amount you wish to save each month on a savings account, and the amount you need to pay your bills with on a separate checkings account if possible. This way you have one account which you can use solely for your fun money purposes, and you can easily track your spending and spend it as you wish without feeling guilty. If you have a credit card, it is also best to link it to this account, and if you pay for something with it, leave the money required on it so that you can pay it off each month. Credit card fees are monstrous if you do not pay them every month, so I suggest you avoid these. Also, transportation and housing are two areas where you can potentially cut a lot of costs. But the reason I mention it this late in the video is that it is highly dependent on where you live and where you work. While a car might be a money pit to have, you might save a lot of money if you move out of a city into a more rural area and still use the car for your transportation. The reverse is also true if you are willing to give up a car when living in a city. This might also be a beneficial option since the higher price of housing is offset by the savings in transportation. If, however, you really need a car, then it is best not to live in a city to save costs. To conclude this video, I want to point out that there is one thing that you should never completely save on, and that is your health. While you may, for example, cut some costs in the specific gym you go to, you should never cut it out entirely. The same for healthy fruits and vegetables you like, and, if applicable to your country, health insurance and going to the doctor if necessary. An unexpected medical bill can put a big wrench in your saving plans. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. Don't save on a like, subscribe if you want to see more personal finance related content in the future, and I hope to see you next time.